Hi, this is Slimedog.
And Topo.
And today we're playing Dying Light on the PS4.
Okay, quick, show the map and where you're heading.
Okay, real quick before we get into it, we're running right now to an airdrop. It's a limited time airdrop of supplies that we need to get to before the other gangs and NPCs do and take all their cool stuff. So I'm going to do that.
He's going to be running while I talk about... I think you're heading the opposite direction of it now.
I think it might be.
You could... I thought you were going to hit a waypoint on it. But at any rate, this is Dying Light. Why are we playing it now? I don't know. It's been out for some
3 years.
time.
3 years.
3 years?
3 years. New anniversary.
So...
Not quite a launch title on the PS4, but close to it.
So we... Okay, years ago played Dead Rising 2. Loved it. Had fun. I said, more zombies, please. So... We tried...
She did say pretty much exactly that.
I'm pretty sure. And so, and that one you say is third person, open world, making stuff... Oh, they beat us here. Okay,
okay.
This is part of why we wanted to get here fast. But he'll be working on getting rid of
slow,
these,
but I gotta get rid of these
guys
gangs
who are trying to steal the airdrop supplies. This is supplies that are dropped in for us. So, we were playing Dead Rising 2, loved it. It's just kind of... It's fun. Tried Dead Rising 1 and I was like, had a hard time. We started
Dead Rising 1 is no good at all. We'll do it.
That's alright.
At least.
But after Dead Rising 2, which was just so seamless, so we did Dead Island, which again had a kind of neat, like paradise feel with zombies, which was actually neat.
Yeah, keep going.
And again, first person like this one. It's the same company did this one as the Dead Islands.
Correct.
And we've done Dead Island and Riptide.
Deep Silver's the publisher. Was it Techland? I think.
Yeah, I think
is
so.
the creator.
So I keep going back and forth. There was a specific physics portion of Dead Island that bugged me, which was the pop-up zombies. There weren't any zombies around to attract that. And I didn't care for that part of it. However, I kept wanting to play the
Basically,
game.
she'd find zombies on the ground that were dead, but then they would instantly pop up to their feet and be chewing on your face when you walk next to them. And that was what
appreciate the
really
sort of
bothered
scare
her.
tactic portion of it, but it wasn't that. It was just, quote unquote, I'm doing little air quotes here, unrealistic. And oh, they're just here. I thought they had a hostage. These guys are jerks, by the way.
Well,
See
clearly,
the yellow outfits show that they're... Oh, good, they landed on spikes. The aforementioned environmental...
These guys,
the
I think you can actually. I think that's just the zombies that you can push into the environmental hazards. I don't think the gang guys will.
Oh, maybe he just happened to have died by the spikes. Any rate, this took, and yet I kept saying I want to play more Dead Island because I still really liked the game aside from that part. There were certain little this and that's about it, but I really overall enjoyed Dead Island, though. Different from... There's a guy on you.
This beat any slower? I can't stop the animation.
Anyway,
the game itself is an open world, like zombie crawler. There's zombies everywhere, and you've got little mini quests. And, an orange, very nice. You've got mini quests and stuff you can do generally to be nice or help people out.
and if you can look at the menu real quick and show the 3 different sorts of quests.
Yes, there's the story quest, which is the main story, which is quite long, but we very often get distracted by it. So the reason it's so long is because we keep wandering off doing side quests for everybody in the sun. Get me crayons, get me batteries, get me dead people, I think. Yeah. They also have repeatable quests, which mostly are along the lines of these this hazard zones that we'll show you in a minute.
We're about to go to a quarantine zone and show that to you.
Yeah.
Those are, that just to show you an example of one of these guys.
And those are instant zones where you go and you have some sort of goal, whether it's collect all the items or kill all the zombies. You're trying to get in, do your thing, and get out.
Right. And it's contained.
Yes. And they also have challenges, which are, again, familiar if you're with, like, the sandbox type games. It's like a race, get to these areas before time runs out, deliver this so-and-so, kill a certain number of guys before, you run out of time or something like that. So they're
and those are more difficult. We tried one, like you walked out of the main tower and tried to do a challenge. That was an interesting choice, but it's tougher because you pick up these parkour skills as you go.
If you're new to the game, be aware that the parkour challenges are definitely designed to be completed when you're level 50 and through the main game.
Yeah.
So there's a reason why you're not going to have any chance of doing the parkour chest, because it's considered to be endgame DLC content. And it was like if you bought the original Dead Dying Light, those wouldn't have been in there at all. So
right, this is the enhanced version that we're playing as a part of
Yeah, it has all of the.
Now, you might say, oh, look, there's an exploding barrel with a whole bunch of gas in it. Why not set them on fire and blow that barrel up? Here's the issue. It draws in volatiles, and they come screaming, not volatiles,
zombies,
the runners, and they come screaming from wherever, and they're the ones that guy. And, oh, by the way, as a little noted bit of creepiness, you'll be wailing on them, and they'll be, no, and then try to eat your face off. So,
it's really crazy. They talk to you.
Because they're like sort of just turned versions.
Disconcerting, actually, they do a great job.
It's one of the many aspects. Oh, it's gonna blow. You better. Also, that'll hurt you if you're nearby. I need to search these bodies.
You're not gonna search themselves.
Look, leave it be. You gotta get out. Oh, there's a cat there.
Oh, man.
Okay, well, you can do the ambulance. You don't have to. Is that a...
So anyway, there's a lot of different types of quests. There's a ton of content. We've been playing this for close to, 20 hours now? And we're, nowhere even started.
Close,
we're at, 20% in the story, and we're not even out of the first kind of major zone.
Have we made it to 20%? Because
I don't know. I think we have.
We played it for, 2 weeks, and we're at 12%. Because we're not progressing the main.
Right.
But... That's okay, because are you going to go in...
A big portion of the game is the crafting system, basically. The way we get everything done is you have to find... you find weapons, items laying around, knives and sticks and clubs and whatever. And then you find...
that machete he just pulled out of that box.
Exactly. And then you find miscellaneous supplies, wires and hooks and whatever. And each of these items has a recipe. Each weapon that you find these blueprints to make better weapons, and they all have a recipe that involves a certain type of item. So, a list of components that you need to do. So, like this zombie classic, I just found a machete.
Nice machete.
And if I use all the parts listed in components, it will create a good machete for me. I'm not going to use my orange one that I just picked up because that's pretty cool. I'm going to save that for something even better. But this green guy now has better stats, and it'll give some sort of elemental effect too, like electricity or fire.
Like the ice pick that he's holding,
he
has electrified it. Wow.
Now, it's worth mentioning that these weapons all have limited durability, which is a major factor in this game. You can't just use the same weapon all the way through the game, because this is going to break after a while. You can repair it with pieces, but you can only repair it a set number of times, like 2-3 times. At which point, then, it's pretty much just junk. Also, the lower it gets, repair-wise, the less damage it does. So you really don't want to wait until it gets all the way to the bottom before you repair it. But that's kind of a tactical decision you have to make on the fly. On the upside, unlike the Dead Rising series, you don't have to go and find a workbench to do all your repairs. You can just do it wherever. Now,
Are you going to go over the menus? Go climb back up on that truck. Oh, yeah, you don't have
There's also skills that have different types of skills that you build as you play, and you get XP depending on what you do. So, if you do story content, you help people out, you do nice stuff that's, basically quests, complete quests, you get survivor points, which help your survivor rank, and the skills that you get from that are completely different than the combat skills and agility skills from the other areas. The survivor skills are things like, craftsman, build more, build better, faster. Camouflage lets you cover yourself in zombie guts and sneak around.
Yeah, the bartering one up above it.
Bartering, stuff costs less to chop. So it's sort of the general NPC and using the crafting system all falls under the survivor skill tree. Agility is all the running around, climbing, hopping, jumping, skipping,
all
blah, blah,
the parkour you've been enjoying, this helps you do it more and better.
Exactly, yeah. And it is a really great parkour system. I personally haven't seen one done this well in a first-person game before. I think it might be similar to Mirror's Edge if you play Mirror's Edge.
I was going to say Sunset Overdrive.
No, that's not first person.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
But it's super agile mobility, so you can basically bounce everywhere. And this tree lets you do that better, faster, smoother. So, and every time you pull yourself up on a ledge, you get agility points. So, like doing what you want to do. Like, if you want to get your agility up, you hopping around and doing stuff. If you look up in the top center of the screen, see, I just got 30 points of agility for climbing up on that. Ambulance. I hopped up on a ledge, 10, 20. The more you run around, the more active you are, the better it helps your agility. So the game levels you up faster depending on how you play. It's like a more organic version of like the Elder Scrolls series. It doesn't beat you over the head with it, but it happens sort of mostly behind the scenes. And power is all your combat stuff. You get your levels up in power just by, beating, crushing, killing, smashing bad zombies.
And the legend we haven't unlocked yet.
Yeah, once you complete one of your skill trees, then you can do the legend, which is that's the kind of the end game progression rank. There's also a fifth one here for drive,
right.
which we haven't opened yet because we haven't done the DLC. The following DLC,
we just haven't messed with it yet.
Right. The following is the name of the DLC pack. It makes it much more open. It's less about the parkour and more about open world driving around. It's got a whole tree that's nothing but driving skills. So,
and the driving is only over in that area, right? You don't get to be able to drive over here. So
well, I'm not sure on that one, but
and I think that's part of why we hadn't.
We can't. Yeah, I think it is. I think that there's no driving around in this area. So, he's standing on. Anyway,
so
it's Tim Allen's neighbor from Home Improvement. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and try the Sunny Apartments Hazard Zone.
Now, with this one, first time we encountered it, came in here at night. I think one thing, we'll just slip in here and get away from those volatiles that are chasing us. Except for, it also glitched this quarantine area.
It did. If you come here and it's night and you find out that therere's zombies that you can't get to, they're like,
they kind of phase through in
the basement is what they look like. That happens when you come to this place at night. So whatever you do, just do this one during the daytime. Otherwise, there's a decent chance that there'll be zombies that you won't be able to finish
they were reaching through the floor here and like grabbing me, which was irritating. Because we're like, why can't we get at them? And we ended up looking it up online because apparently it's a thing, and it's been. I guess you can.
I have not used that shotgun before. That is a heck of a shotgun.
It used both bullets, but...
Oh, no, it didn't.
I guess it's just reload because anytime you have a bullet out, you can... But it did kill two of them if you line them up right.
Yeah.
Oh!
Get so distracted with the new toys, I get the number stuff correct.
First, and you start to cough, the guy's not like
And see, this is a sign that my pickaxe is doing less damage than it should, probably because it needs to be repaired. Also, there's stamina to consider. If you...
That's the bar down here in the center.
The center...
Back up a second.
There, see how it's filling up?
Give it a second to finish filling. Plus, you know what it's at. Okay, there you go. That's like a And there you go. That worked.
Wow, this is actually pretty good. I haven't used this sickle a whole lot. I made an electrified sickle. And it seems to be pretty solid.
Is there anyone behind you?
No, certainly not.
Oh my god.
Lockpicking's a big feature of this game. However, and it works pretty much like it does in the Elder Scrolls games, Skyrim and Oblivion, stuff like that. You move the pin in a direction and then you kind of test it.
Behind you.
I opened a door full of zombies and you're like, turn around behind you. I'm like, this is not where the zombies are.
Then he must be upstairs.
Oh yeah, sure. There's
I saw the red arrow coming up behind him as well.
This particular map has a total of 3 doors. So, you have a kick attack, which is something they carried over nicely from Dead Island. And the quick attack initially just pushes them down. And it
doesn't use your stamina or uses very little.
Yeah.
Is that the deal?
It doesn't use much stamina, but more importantly, it doesn't use any of your weapons. It doesn't wear out your weapons if you.
And if you can kick them over, there's a challenge for kicking them off a ledge, like so when you're up on a high bridge or up on a building, you can kick them off, and if they die, that counts towards the 100 you have to kill.
You have to push a lot of them off if you want that trophy. But basically, yeah. Okay. And in this challenge, we're basically just clearing the entire building. That's the point of this thing. And our health gradually goes down because of the fire that they have going on, the smoke. Still spend a lot of time coughing.
We'll show this
these blue boxes are another kind of side objective in here. They have excellent loot. Okay, those boxes.
We'll be sharing that with you.
They also have very hard lockpicks. So if you're going to do them, make sure you have lots of extra lockpicks to do it. And it also helps if you either clear out or make sure nothing goes sneak up while you're doing it. That's the big difference between the tedious lockpicks of other games and how this keeps it suspenseful is while you're picking locks, stuff can walk up and murder you. So it does actually add quite a bit of suspense to the whole
there's the boot stomp, by the way. That's back on the kicking thing. So you start with a little here,
I'm going to kick him down.
Whatever.
Once he's on the floor, you can hold down L1 and kill him and get kills that way without using any stamina on your weapons. You can't do this until you've unlocked that skill from the tree, the power tree. And
so it's not right away that you get that option.
Right here, level 9.
But anyone who played Dead Island will appreciate the stomp because that was quite the popular move in that game.
Stomp is a game changer. Okay, like people get that as soon as possible. It's one of the they don't really make it they don't illustrate how incredibly useful it is because running out of weapons is a massive, it's the more you have to stop and repair or find stuff or build stuff.
Because it also takes materials to do it too. Yeah. You don't just magically repair stuff.
Yeah. Zombie corpses. Nope. And nearly done. Looks like there's one more guy here. 3. Popped in. There's one behind me. Bathroom. Doors closed.
Yeah, there's 2 closed doors here. One's a push-in and one's a pick-lock one.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, we'll see if it depends on how things work on this one. Do the one open. He was trying to pick the lock on this one, and the zombie was hitting him through the. So that was
boom.
Lovely.
That was
and
nice.
Done. While he was trying to pick, so it kept interrupting his pick. So he then kicked the door or hit through it with the weapon once.
Smacked at it with the weapon to push
and
him away.
It moved the zombie away from the door. So if you end up with the. Go ahead, just be done. Oh no. Yeah.
Boom.
And now it's done. Now that this is all open.
See, that's Survivor XP that we got. We got 1750 or 7,500 Survivor XP, plus all the power XP we got from murdering all those zombies. So yeah.
And this is very nice. And we're going to show.
Here's what these blue chests have.
These are nice. They're round. You find them.
So you have the blue hatchet. Weapons have different rarity. White, green, blue, purple, orange. And blues are pretty solid. So.
And while he does picks through, that by the way is the trash room. And just watch your health bar because you do slowly go down here because of the smoke. There's there on the left, that door. It's just a trash drop room. I wanted to show.
Okay.
So let's see. Things that you can lockpick. Police vans.
Oh my god.
Those are out and around, and inevitably there's so many zombies around it.
That was so lucky. These things are really hard to pick.
You're just They are hard level, but they are nice loot. Police vans are the ones that are going to get you guns.
Yeah.
And ammo. So they're great to get if you can, but more often than not, you're going to have some crazy zombies, and they will come up and attack you, and heaven forbid you get screamers.
Guns, by the way, are really interesting in this game because I mean, mechanically they're not very interesting. You point and shoot, but whether to use them or whether or not becomes a really key factor. Shooting off a gun will draw more zombies, like absolutely. So a lot of times it's like, how much do I want this zombie dead?
Right.
Do I need to pull out bullets and start shooting them because it's going to hurt if I do? Like, you know, you're going to have to deal with a whole swarm of them pretty quick if you just sort of open fire. So there's definitely a trade-off to the whole
gun versus not. But we got the blueprint for a silencer for the pistol, which is nice, but we have no bullets for our pistol. So now, if you want to pay $200 for a bullet from the various shops around town, you can find them, but your best bet's still going to be...
They are purchasable, but they're very expensive. On the other hand, once you get to the point where, you know, you've got more money than you know what to do with, maybe bullets aren't so bad at that point.
Yeah,
but
so
you still don't want to use bullets just to shoot random guys because you'll always make your situation worse.
And get stuff coming. Now, that yellow one there, that's your ambulance. You're going to find...
I just opened that before, didn't I? Nope, we just left and came back, so now it's still empty.
But that one, we had to pick the lock on it. Now, here's the police one, but there's just too much stuff around it. And then the ambulance on the right usually has 2 med kits in it.
Ambulance have med kits.
And the police one has these buses. You can find bags, but we don't usually mess with those.
See how I just crawled up the side of that building, like with the parkour skill? It's really nice that you don't have to you spend hours kind of like crazy jumping around trying to find ledges and stuff. You can pretty much haul yourself up a lot of structures in this game. Like, mobility is a huge factor, and they make it very easy to get where you need to go.
So, let's see. Those are some of the lock... Those blue chests, you will find... There's more mushrooms.
Oh, and getting 10 of the blue chests, I think, is a trophy. So if you're into trophies, make sure you grab those guys when you do the hazardous zones.
And those are in the quarantine areas only, I think,
Yeah, those instant area. Yeah, I haven't seen any that aren't.
You can open some cars and some trucks. Oh, wait, go back on the top of that truck again. Okay. I wanted to show them. Now, from here, of course, there's always a zombie walking along on fire. Look down at the zombies down right next to you. So, okay, so you can initially hit them. Don't do your kick. Just hit them with your weapon. You can...
It's too high up.
Crouch.
No, it's showing me if I can...
Try it.
Oh, that works, yeah.
Yes. So, early on, this one I did pick up online. You can stand on top of vehicles as a safe place to hang out. They can't climb up. The screamers do.
You can do your head stomp. If you get down on something slightly lower, you can just do your... Once you get that stomp move at level 9, you can head stomp people from, like, say, the hood of a car.
Yeah, the van's a hard one to show it on. But on the hoods of cars, because they're not quite as tall. There's a car next to you. But anyway, these guys can... Oh, this guy can. Can climb up on stuff. These guys don't. Oh, there's another one on your left. Stop! Okay, fine.
See how that crazy kicking?
Okay. Again.
Thanks for saying that. Anyway.
And it's not nighttime. I don't know if we're gonna...
No, we're not gonna... It's gonna be a ways before nighttime. But nighttime is a whole different ball of wax. You play hide-and-go-seek with the volatiles, and you really
see the
don't
red
have
arrow
to fight
chasing him down? He's got a... There we go. But he's decapitated and done. And always grab the cash.
Anyway, that's Dying Light. It's super fun. It's probably one of our favorite zombie games of all time. I'll go ahead and say that. Except, I guess the only one that really gives it a run for its money at this point, it might be better, is Last of Us.
There's Last of Us. See, okay, so here's one. Oh, this one's a lot. So you've got the glowy blue ones. You've got the police van. You've got the ambulance, and then you've got these red guys that are lock pickables. And then various doors that you may need to open.
Yeah.
There are other chests around that are white that are you just open them up. Basket, you might have seen a couple minutes ago, he did the basket. Oh, there's the tower across the way you can jump across to. Okay. See, anything that's got this yellow black on it is something you can jump and grab. Yeah. You don't have to climb all the way up, but, so those are things you can lock pick. Okay, so games. Dead Rising, love it, different type of game, because it's
more silly.
It's
Dead Rising isn't as It's a little. It's not as serious. It's
right, and it's just like
more Army of Darkness than Evil Dead.
Yes, there you go. Last of Us, just a whole different, much more story.
Mm-hmm.
This
Wonderful
one
story.
could be story, but it's more zombie killing, and this is sort of like an in between the two, I'd say. As far as
that's fair. It's got the crafting system, so you've got the kind of the wacky constructed weapons, which is kind of a staple, but also kind of it's not super realistic. On the other hand, it doesn't have kind of like the nutty jokes Dead Rising have, or the crazy kind of like video game references.
Right.
Like Dead Rising, no matter which one you're playing, doesn't take itself 100% seriously, whereas this one's a lot more about the spooky horror.
Yeah,
so.
and so all very good,
Mm-hmm.
slightly different, all zombie, open world. Well, I guess Last of Us is less open world, kind of, but it's
but mostly
more
it's not,
story driven. Yeah. Which, and an excellent, here's, you can slide through here, and then you activate that, and slide, go up the ramp.
Sure, would I?
Just because that way you can talk. Oh, there's a spewer down there. A different type of zombie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
they actually shoot. So
let's see, I think we've covered most of, is there somebody, what is that?
Focus.
Oh, somebody's talking to you.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out what's that back there. Is that a really... Oh, it's one of the big zombies?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
So, this is a really cool game. It's probably one of the best zombie games in general.
Yeah.
And it's totally worth checking out if you haven't already. 3 years on, it's got a ton of free DLC. Very, very highly recommended.
Very nice. I will say, I will always have a spot in my heart for Dead Island, even as much as it drove me crazy. This one took everything that I kind of liked about that one and just polished it up and made it a little bit more.
Yeah.
There's the bed and the bag inside here. I don't know if you.
Well, I like Dead Island okay. This one definitely outclasses it in every way.
Yeah.
So
that one was like the practice. Like the practice outline, and then went to here and did. Yeah.
Also, the stories don't interconnect at all, so don't feel like you need to play the old Dead Island games to get caught up on the plot. This guy's, it's pretty much an all-new story for this one. So
yeah, it's a similar. You're on an island, and there's zombies, and nighttime's terrifying.
Yeah.
And
it really is. Nighttime is scary as hell in this game, and it's really fun. So, but that's Dying Light.
I hope you enjoy it. If you like zombie games, definitely scope this one out. It is one of the best, top 3 for depending what you're looking for.
And thanks for watching, and see you next time.
Thanks for joining us.